Hi to everyone watching. This is going to be the first video I do with this new pup I just picked up, and actually the first training session as well. Just got her, I think, 2 days ago now. So this is going to be a place training session. I think it's a super beneficial thing to do early on. It really allows the dog to be in a controlled environment since at this age they're very active and reckless, and in a lot of situations you just have to put them away. Whereas with the place, they could just be outside beside you without causing any trouble, in control, practicing obedience, but outside free and enjoying the fresh air, etc. So we'll get started. You'll notice at the beginning, I don't use the place command before using the leash pressure to bring the dog on the place. And the reason for that is just in case if I do that, the dog freaks out and makes a big deal out of it, I would be associating that experience with the place word. So I make sure before that the dog is okay with the leash pressure onto the place bed, and that the dog is okay with actually being on the place bed. A lot of dogs will not like that surface, be uncomfortable with that surface, etc. But as soon as I find out here that she's completely fine with it, I introduce the word. Place. And I've seen it where a fair few dogs are like that, so you want to really make sure of that before using the word.
Okay. Yeah, nice job. Come on, come on, come on.
You'll see with the OK, which is her release command, that I actually use some leash pressure to bring her off. I really want to be clear, like, OK means that you can come off.
Good.
So that's why I'll do that. And I also make it a big deal. Yeah, man, you did it. Great job. It really helps the dog. You'll notice at points throughout the video as it goes on that the dog does really want to get off. And it's very important, as long as you made sure what you're doing, what you're asking is fair, and that you're being clear and consistent, that you don't just say, okay, all right, you really want to get off, let's get off. That's obviously teaching bad things. It's definitely negating all of the progress you took, and it's installing bad habits. I'm very exuberant with the reward, very outgoing, very energetic. Really being clear to the dog, I'm happy with how you're doing now. That was a great thing you just did. Great job. It's important when the dog's having a little bit of difficulty that you give them that outlet. That you say, yeah, this may be a little difficult, but there will be good parts of it as well.
Place. Good. Hey. Hey. Good. Okay. Yeah,
A is my marker for that's not correct.
Very nice. Place.
She's a beautiful dog. I love this dog. Her character and her traits that she's showing are very much with what I like to see out of a dog. Really pay attention to the leash here. When the dog gets off, the leash is tight and it puts the dog back onto the place bed. But when she's on the place bed, you see there's slack. That's very important to communicate to the dog.
Okay.
This is where you want to be. This is where I'm expecting you to be. This place is good. This is the place to be. If you get off, then there's pressure. But when you're on, there's no pressure.
Place. Nice. Hey.
If the leash is always tight, then you're just really going to confuse the dog and you're not going to make much progress, and you'll see the dog get frustrated, and we want to avoid that.
Hey.
One thing you'll notice too is I'm not increasing the pressure. I'll say A and use the same pressure every time to get the dog back on. And the reason for that is because right now she's 10 weeks old, and at that age, there's already a lot going on. We're teaching a new command. They're young, new environment, etc. It will be very hard for them to understand this pressure going up, and that just wouldn't be fair to them. So what I'm leading with is patience and persistence. And over time, that will communicate to the dog, and that will register with the dog rather than increasing pressure. That's just not fair, and it won't be clear. After a certain amount of time, you'll see the dog gets it, and that's the way to go about it with a dog this age. Now, if you have a dog 8 months and older, more grown, more
Hey.
mature, more stable in the mind
Hey.
and such, then you could definitely increase the pressure gradually if you see that they really don't care about the pressure you're using.
Hey.
If they're blowing it off or if they don't mind,
Hey.
then you're like, all right, I could use a little bit more here because they don't mind it at all. And it's not effectively communicating what I want them to know, which is you made a mistake.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Good job.
Here, I'm just checking to
potty.
see if the dog has to go potty. At this age, they go potty a lot, and the last thing I want is for her to go potty on the bed or to feel like very stressed because she wants to go on the grass, but she's having to be on the place bed.
Okay, come on.
It's also nice to give them a break, especially with a longer session.
Place. Hey. Hey. Good.
Now, this is important. You see here, I pet her and praise her on the bed.
Hey.
It's good to do it off the bed, which I did, but it's also very
Hey.
important to do it on the bed because you want to let the dog know the place bed is a very nice
Hey.
place and very good place to be, not just off the bed. You want to make that bed as
Hey.
nice and as enjoyable to the dog as you can, so that they not only
Hey.
understand that they have to be there, right? That sets that leadership position where it's like, I need you to be
Hey.
here, you have to stay there, but also it's nice to be there, so it's a win-win.
Hey. Good.
Again, praising her on the bed, letting her know this is a nice place to be. It's fun there. No need to rush to get off.
Hey. Place.
And this will take time. Again,
Hey.
she's young and it's the first session, so you want to make sure you're not asking for too much or that your expectations are too high. And that
Hey.
when the dog does something good and that she's showing
Hey.
progression, that you make sure you really reward that and let the dog know you're doing a great job.
Good.
Again, rewarding
Okay.
on the place bed, very important.
Good. Yes.
And big
Very
rewards,
good.
big exuberant rewards.
Good.
When the dog is having difficulty with something and they make a breakthrough or they finally make some progression, you really let them know, like, hey, great job. Give them that outlet. Let them know this is exactly what I wanted. It really helps with the learning, and of course, they need that. Right here is just a little break. I again thought that she needed to go potty, and I just didn't want to take that chance. So
Place. Good. Hey. Place. Hey. Hey. Good. Hey.
I'm looking to be able to go around the place bed once or twice fully with her restraining herself and keeping herself on that place bed.
Good. Okay. Good job.
It's important
Very
to carefully
nice.
look at the dog in front of you and watch to see how they're reacting, and that will really help you see if what you're asking, what you're expecting of the dog is fair. Are they making a big deal out of it? Do they look very frustrated? Okay, maybe you're asking too much. Are they easily understanding
Place.
what you're asking? Okay, maybe it's time to take a step up. You do want to always go for progression if you can, if the dog is showing they're ready for it.
Hey.
Lots of restraint here. Very good on her part. You could see the learning taking place. again, and then she even sits, she settles down. That's exactly what I wanted.
Hey. Hey. Please. Hey.
Keep in mind the way
Hey.
I'm using the leash pressure. It's on, now it's off. It's on, now it's off.
Hey. 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 Hey.
The dog wants to get off, but she's not. That's showing learning.
Hey. Good.
I said good there because she actually anticipated my leash pressure back and mostly went back on her own. That's, again, learning. You want to look for those small wins, you want to recognize them and praise them. Especially at this age, you let the dog know that is what I like.
Okay.
The small wins and letting
Nice
them be aware of
puppy.
those small
Come on,
wins are
come on,
important
come on,
to
come
the
on.
understanding of what you're teaching. At the end, I was able to do the full loop and she showed restraint, so I ended it there. It was already a pretty long session as it was, so I was happy with that. And that's going to be all for the video. If there's any questions at all about the video itself, or if there's any struggles you're having with your dog teaching the place command, please leave them below and I'll get back to them very shortly and with the best help that I can. Thank you very much for watching and have a good rest of your day. Bye.